this is, by the way, this is his call to adventure. Mirage actually reinforces the superficial why. And she actually says, quote, "You can still do great things, or you can listen to police scanners." And this idea of him reliving his glory days is reinforced yet a third time when we see Bob, right after this video message, looking at a wall of framed news articles and magazine covers, all highlighting his successes from the past when he was recognized as Mr. Incredible and allowed to be the superhero that he is. So, yes, it seems from all this that Bob's true why is that he wants to relive his glory days. And I think it's important to have that in a children's film and to really hammer it home over and over again, because the kids need to understand why he's doing what he's doing. Okay. They need the repetition. However, and reliving the glory days is fine as a why as far as it goes. Absolutely. However, this is Pixar. This is early days of Pixar when they were really good. They are so clever at storytelling that they are able to weave a much deeper reason for Bob's actions into this children's story. And this deeper reason, I think children pick up on as well. I don't think they have any trouble understanding it. And I think it's the real motivation behind his actions. And it is also mentioned multiple times. When Bob and Lucius are listening to the police scanner, Bob says to Lucius, "You don't want to protect people?" That's clue number 1. Clue number 2, when Bob gets home later that night and he and Helen are fighting, Bob says, "I performed a public service. You act like that's a bad thing." Okay, clue number 2, right? Clue number 3, when Bob gets called to his boss's office and his boss is Mr. Huff, and Huff is yelling at him because the customers are actually making successful insurance claims. Bob says, quote, "We're supposed to help people." He sees a pedestrian being mugged, and then he says, "That man needs help." So that's 4 different instances. We have a 5th instance. When Mr. Huff is in the hospital and Bob is out talking to the NSA agent, he explains his behavior by saying, quote, "Someone was in trouble. I had to do something." So yes, we had, I think it was 3 instances of the superficial reliving the glory days reason, but we had 5 different times where Bob articulates his real motivation is because he is someone who is a public servant. He protects people. He helps people. When people are in trouble, he's there. That's who he is. He's a protector. That's how he is wired. He can't help himself. It is in his superhero DNA, right? Melanie, you call this his shadow self, which is like the hidden part of him, the suppressed part of him. This is his authentic self, and he is compelled to do it. So why does he do it? Because he has to. Just like us as artists. Why are you writing novels? Because we have to. If there is an easier way, like if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, I could take it or leave it. Like if I never ever finish my book, it's really not going to bother me. Then maybe you should not finish your book and just take all of that time and energy and effort that you would have spent on the book and go and do something more interesting to you with it. Because life is short, right? You're only getting one kick at the can, as far as we know. But those of us who stick with this for the long term, until for as long as it takes to achieve whatever goals we've set for ourselves, we do it because we're compelled to do it. It's who we are. It's our authentic selves rising to the surface. That's the real reason. That's our why for why are we writing a book? Because we have to. We can't not write.